My beloved child, I urge you to listen intently, for what I am about to share with you is not a passing thought or a fleeting concern. This message comes from the depths of my unwavering love, spoken not from a place of distance, but from a father's heart filled with urgency and deep care. I am reaching out to protect you, to warn you, and to guide you, not out of desire to alarm you, but because my love for you surpasses anything you could comprehend. There is a danger that threatens your life, but it is not the kind that arrives with the loudness of a storm or the clash of armies. No, it is a quiet, deceptive force that slowly and patiently begins to surround you, creeping in unnoticed. It is not like a disaster that you can see from a distance, but rather like a shadow that silently follows you, unseen. This threat is manifested in the small, seemingly harmless decisions you make, the moments of doubt, the distractions that divert your attention, and the temptation to ignore what is right. It speaks to you in a whisper, encouraging you to delay your prayers, to quiet your conscience, and to choose comfort over virtue. This danger wears the mask of rest, yet it is a slumber that numbs your spirit, and it masquerades as freedom, all the while slowly shackling your soul with lies. I know that your heart is confused, seeking answers, while your mind struggles to understand what your spirit already knows to be true. That is why I speak to you today, at this very moment. It is not by chance that you are hearing these words now. I have called you here with love because I do not want you to fall victim to the same deception that has ensnared so many others without them realizing it. This threat has robbed many of their peace, cloaking rebellion in the guise of reason, wrapping disobedience in attractive arguments, and replacing truth with a diluted version of my message. I do not speak with the thunder of a storm, because if I did, you might only fear me and fail to understand the depth of my words. The earth does not shake, and the skies remain clear, but my voice, though soft, bears the eternal weight of truth. I am closer to you than you can imagine, closer than the very air you breathe, closer than the beat of your heart. I have never left you. I have always watched over you, even in your moments of doubt, even when you wandered. My faithfulness remains unchanged, for I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. My love for you is unshakable and eternal. Long before your existence began to unfold, I already had you in my thoughts. I shaped you with purpose, with intention, and with a divine plan that only I could conceive. You were never a mistake, nor an accident. Your life is not a random event. Every step you've taken, I have seen it. Every tear you've shed, I have caught it with my hands. But now, in this pivotal moment, I ask you to listen carefully to what I am about to tell you. You are being surrounded by an influence that does not come from me. It is a quiet, subtle force that rises like a mist, quietly working to dampen your faith, to make you forget who you are and to whom you truly belong. This is the kind of threat that creeps up on you unnoticed, until it has already taken root in your heart. It is not the kind of danger that shakes you with violence, but the kind that lulls you into complacency with a false sense of peace. Its tactic is simple: to slip through small cracks, disguised in seemingly harmless distractions, and once it has entered, it begins to corrupt from the very foundation. Do not turn a deaf ear to this warning. Do not ignore my voice once again, for you may not get another chance like this. I speak not to scare you, but to awaken you, to save you from what is slowly threatening your soul. There is still time, there is still hope. You can still return to me, with all your heart. I am here with you, not in anger but in compassion, not with condemnation, but with mercy. My only wish is for you to live truly live, walking in the light of truth, free from deception. Deep inside, I know that the flame of your faith has not completely extinguished. It still flickers, waiting to be reignited. This is why I speak to you now, to fan that flame, to remind you that you are mine, and always have been, and that you still have the power to rise again. Stay with me a little longer, for I am not yet done speaking. Every word I have shared with you is like a whisper from eternity, meant to stir your heart, and what I will say next is even more profound. I do not come to you with fingers pointed in judgment. I come to you with the truth that will set you free. There is a battle, an invisible struggle, a war that rages in the depths of your soul, a battlefield that you cannot see, but you feel the effects of it every day. You sense it when you wake up tired, even after a full night's rest. You feel it when you are surrounded by others, yet you still feel an overwhelming sense of loneliness. You experience it when you meet all the demands placed upon you, but deep down, you wonder if you are truly on the right path. This is the battle I speak of, and I am here to help you fight it. I am the way, not just one of many options, but the only true path. All other roads lead to disappointment, emptiness, and destruction, even when they are laid with the best of intentions. The world offers you paths that promise to give you identity, but all they provide are empty labels. It promises you peace, but what it really offers is fleeting pleasure. It speaks of freedom, but in the end, it chains you even more. I am not like this. In me you will find rest, truth, and life. Only in me will you discover a meaning that remains constant, value that is not tied to your successes, and love that does not disappear when you falter. I see your weariness even as you continue to push forward. I see the times you smile for others, but when you are alone, you question your purpose. I see the burdens you carry in your mind, the silent anxieties, and the fears that you hide from yourself. You think these are yours alone to bear, but I never meant for you to carry them. My shoulders are broad, and my yoke is light. You have forgotten how to rest in me, and that is why you feel overwhelmed. You act quickly and reflect slowly, trying to fix eternal problems with temporary solutions, running in circles trying to maintain balance in a world that is constantly changing. But how could you find true stability if you do not anchor yourself in what is unchanging? I want to awaken your soul to something deeper than any fleeting success, more satisfying than the approval of others, more fulfilling than temporary pleasure. I did not create you to live an empty life, but to experience abundance. I did not design you to wander in confusion, but to walk in clarity. This is why I am speaking to you now. I have drawn you near with cords of love, separating you from the noise of the world so that we can have this sacred conversation. Listen closely, for what I am about to say is the very reason you are here right now. There is an enemy who seeks to steal your peace, and while he has already been defeated by my power on the cross, he remains desperate. He cannot take you from me. He cannot break the covenant sealed with my blood, but he can deceive you. He can plant lies in your mind, numb your conscience, and fill your life with distractions until you forget what it truly means to be alive in me. This enemy doesn't need to destroy your body. If he can darken your spirit, he has already won. His tactics are subtle, small distractions, tiny compromises, toxic thoughts you allow to linger, wounds you leave unhealed. His goal is to separate you from my living presence, leading you to wander aimlessly, moving but without purpose. I did not create you for that. I made you for something far greater, and I have placed within you a divine calling, an eternal purpose. Do not trade that for the fleeting satisfaction the world offers. I love you with a love that is eternal, and because of this, I will never leave you in the darkness. This warning is an expression of that love. This call is a testament to my unwavering faithfulness. I see you in your entirety, not just what you show to the world, but also what you conceal, not just your actions, but the thoughts that dwell in your heart. And despite all of this, I love you. I do not turn away from you because of your doubts or your past mistakes. My love is greater than your uncertainties. My grace is deeper than your failures. Today, I offer you, once more, the chance to return not merely to a set of rituals or a religion, but to a real and living relationship with me. I am not calling you to external acts alone, but to a deep and personal communion in the quiet of your heart. I do not desire only a part of you. I want all of you, not because I lack anything, but because you need everything that I am. And here I stand, waiting, calling, holding you. Do not fear. You are not alone, nor have you ever been abandoned. The voice you hear now is mine, and I have come to awaken you before it is too late. I have watched every step you have taken, even those that seem to lead nowhere. I have been present in every day you felt was empty, in those quiet moments when no one asked how you truly were. I have walked beside you in times of joy and in those when it felt like everything was closed off, when even your prayers seemed to go unheard. And though there were times you thought I had abandoned you, the truth is, I have never left your side. You confused my silence for absence, but my silence was a form of protection. You mistook my waiting for indifference, but it was in fact an act of redemption. I have called you to a life filled with purpose, not a fragmented existence torn between obligation and despair. You followed the paths the world offers, paths that promise fulfillment but only leave you more parched, paths that sparkle with allure but end in darkness. You have sought meaning in the immediate, but your soul was created for the eternal, which is why nothing in this world has been able to truly satisfy you. That is why the victories you achieve through your own efforts always feel lacking. It is not because you have failed, but because you were made for something greater, something deeper, something truer. I see how you carry the weight of past decisions, how certain memories have become like chains that still bind you, influencing the way you view the present. It was never my will for you to remain shackled to the past, but I gave you the gift of free will, and you chose to remain in that emotional prison. Today, I want to show you that the key has always been within your reach. Redemption is not a distant concept or an abstract idea. It is a living reality when you walk in my truth. I do not require you to make yourself clean before you come close, for it is only in my presence that you will find the healing and cleansing you seek. You do not need to pretend to be strong, because my strength is perfected in your honest weakness. That which you hide, I long to heal. You are searching for answers in places that offer only illusions. You are waiting for signs when I have already spoken my word to you. Not everything that glitters is of me, and not every pain is outside of my divine plan. Some of your frustrations are tools I have permitted for your growth. Some of the emptiness you feel is not a curse. It is proof that you have attempted to live disconnected from the source of your life. It is not punishment. It is a call to awareness. It is not condemnation. It is correction. There is a vast difference between the voice that accuses and the voice that convicts. The first condemns and destroys, while the second restores and heals. I never humiliate you to break you, but to rebuild you upon a foundation that will never fail. You have begun to define yourself by your failures, your wounds, and your limitations, but I see you as whole, not shattered. I see what you can become when you walk with me, when you embrace my truth, when you allow me to be your foundation, not just an accessory. I did not create you to live off occasional bursts of inspiration, but for continuous, intimate communion with me, a life where my presence is not a fleeting visit but a permanent home. You were never meant to drag through life spiritually. You were created to run with joy and freedom, living with the strength and vitality that only I can provide. What weighs you down today is not merely the challenges you face, but the way you are facing them. You have been trying to fight spiritual battles with worldly tools. You've attempted to conquer destructive thoughts with logic alone, but the weapons I have provided for you are not of this world. They are powerful in me, capable of tearing down strongholds, breaking chains, and restoring what seemed lost. There is no wound that my blood cannot heal, no chain my word cannot break. and no guilt that my grace cannot redeem. I did not come to offer a temporary fix to your life. I came to completely transform it, from the inside out. In this world, filled with noise and endless opinions, I am calling you to a place of depth, not for more knowledge, but for real, lasting transformation. Because true change does not begin on the outside, it begins deep within the heart. I want to set you free from the inside out. I am not asking for more effort from you. I am offering you a chance to surrender more sincerely. You do not have to try to be enough. In me, you already are enough. You do not need to climb a mountain to find me, because I have already come down to meet you exactly where you are. And now that you've made it this far, remember this. It's not the end, it's just the beginning of a new chapter. What you are hearing now is not just a set of words. It is a call, an invitation, and a response to the deepest questions you've been carrying within. What lies ahead may not be easier, but it will certainly be clearer. Walking with me doesn't remove the trials, but it guarantees the victory. I have witnessed how, in the midst of your everyday struggles, you've experienced an emptiness that words cannot explain. You sought to fill that void with relationships, achievements, distractions, and even with a superficial spirituality that entertains but fails to transform. But the soul cannot be satisfied by what is fleeting. You were made for more than just getting by in between fleeting moments of inspiration. There is a truth that is firmer than your feelings, more stable than your circumstances, and it is right before you, not as a distant enigma, but as a spring that has always been within your reach. It's not that you don't want to seek, it's that, too often, you don't know where to start. You are surrounded by voices claiming to know what you need, each offering their own version of the truth. But none of them can support you when your heart is broken in silence. None of them can stand with you when everything stops, and you feel lost, unsure how to move forward. Only my word endures. Only mine can cut through the confusion the world has planted in your mind. And though many times you've been paralyzed by doubt, I want you to understand that doubt is not the enemy of faith. It is, in fact, an opportunity to reconnect with me on a deeper level. I am not disturbed by your questions, nor do I pull away because of your silences or take offense at your tears. I remain constant, always here with you. I have allowed you to go through certain trials, not to break you, but to prepare you, to fine-tune your ability to hear my voice. There are lessons that cannot be learned in the noise of life. There are truths that can only be revealed through brokenness. Faith is not forged in comfort, but in the fire of challenge. What you have endured, difficult though it has been, is not without purpose. I have been weaving a tapestry with invisible threads, a plan that you may not yet understand, but in due time, it will be revealed. My intent was never to harm you. It was always to make you stronger, not in your pride, but in your dependence on me. Not because you feel no pain, but because you know where to bring it. Not because you control everything, but because you have learned to trust even when you don't understand. There is a peace that cannot be manufactured, a peace that doesn't depend on favorable circumstances or predictable outcomes. This peace comes from truly knowing me, not as an idea, not as a doctrine, but as a living presence that transforms your soul from the inside out. I have touched your spirit before, even in ways you may not have noticed. I have been present in the moments you dismissed as insignificant, for to me, nothing of yours is small. Every thought you've directed towards me, every yearning for truth, every prayer whispered through tears has reached my heart. I am not indifferent to your pain. I am intentional in my actions. I have been preparing you to discern what is false, not through harsh judgment, but through wisdom and understanding. The false often disguises itself as good. It can appear moral, even spiritual, but it does not bear fruit that lasts. What comes from me, however, always transforms, always purifies, always gives life. Do not be deceived by what excites without lasting change, by what entertains without nourishing your soul. I did not come to make your life easier. I came to give you real life, a life with roots, substance, and depth, a life that is grounded in truth and capable of withstanding any storm. Right now, you find yourself at a crossroads that goes far beyond what others may see. This is not just about external decisions, it is about an internal alignment. I am calling you to undergo a deep transformation, not just a superficial change. I am not asking you to merely tweak your habits. I am calling you to renew your very foundation, because you cannot build on unstable ground and expect your structure to stand firm. There are areas in your life that need to be broken down by my truth in order to be rebuilt with my grace. Do not fear leaving behind what no longer serves you, for anything that is not grounded in me was never secure for you to begin with. You are not a product of random chance. You are not here merely because time and circumstances align. You are here because my sovereignty has ordained it, because there are still chapters in your story that must be written, and I am the one writing them. Do not allow fear to steal the pen of your destiny. I do not write your life with the ink of condemnation, but with promises that last for eternity. Each day I give you is not a repetition of yesterday. It is a new opportunity. Each sunrise is not a mere coincidence. It is grace in action. I care more about your transformation than your outward performance. I want your soul to be awake, your spirit to be on fire, and your mind to be free from the lies that have held you captive for so long. And if you are hearing these words now, it is not by chance. Something has already stirred within you, and you must not ignore it or let distractions lead you astray, for this moment is sacred. In the unseen realm, something is shifting within you already. There are aspects of your spiritual journey that remain undiscovered because for too long, you have walked by what is visible, what is predictable, what is understandable. But what I have prepared for you is not found on the surface. It is not revealed by human effort or attained through earthly methods. You must learn to see beyond the obvious, to listen beyond the noise, to perceive beyond the emotions, because the things of this world are built on foundations that will eventually crumble. But in the realm of the spirit, there are eternal foundations being established that will endure even when everything else fades away. I have been drawing you into a deeper intimacy with me, not so you can feel superior, but so that you can be transformed in the quiet moments that only I can see. I do not desire a religious facade, but a genuine, constant, and unpretentious relationship with you. Your achievements hold little value to me if, in the process, you lose your ability to hear my voice. I am closer to you in your brokenness than in your moments of outward victory, not because I rejoice in your pain, but because it is often in those times of vulnerability that you finally allow me to be the Lord of your entire life, not just parts of it. People may be impressed by appearances, but I look at the heart and know when it beats for me and when it beats for the things you have built on your own strength. Hope has reduced faith to well-worn phrases, to actions that lack true power, but that is not the life I created for you. I did not form you to settle into mediocrity. I made you to walk with authority, with discernment, and with a clear sense of identity. I have allowed seasons where everything you once took for granted was shaken, not to break you, but to show you what was never truly solid. Many of the things you relied on were fragile, and when the ground beneath you trembled, they broke. But this was not loss, it was revelation. I allowed you to see the temporary for what it is, so you could embrace the eternal. The voices around you constantly urge you to produce, to prove yourself, and to keep advancing even if your soul is wearing thin in the process. But it is not in the rush that you will find what you truly need. It is in the rest of my presence where you will find clarity and direction. It is not about doing more. It is about being led by my spirit, because the enemy does not always come through tragedy. Sometimes, he works through the constant pace of a busy life, causing you to wear yourself down without purpose, mistaking activity for growth and movement for progress. But I have come to break that cycle and offer you a renewed vision, one that comes not from your own plans, but from my heart. You are not invisible to me. Every moment of your life, even the quietest and most unnoticed ones, holds profound meaning in my eyes. Every seed you've planted in faith, every act of obedience that went unrecognized, every step you took when you felt like giving up, I have seen it all, and not one of those moments hath been in vain. Heaven keeps record of what the earth often forgets. I have counted each tear you shed. I have heard the sighs that never became spoken prayers. You do not need to raise your voice for me to hear you. Your sincerity is the language I cherish most. Now is the time for spiritual maturity. You can no longer rely on borrowed faith from others, past experiences, or teachings you've never truly applied. Time is moving swiftly, and your spirit must be firmly anchored, not to make you fearful, but to prepare you. The day will come when everything will be tested, and only what was built upon my truth will stand. Do not fear what lies ahead. If you are grounded in me, what others see as confusion will become clarity for you. What many will consider a fall can become your spiritual elevation. But that will depend on how deeply you allow my word to transform your heart and mind. I am not calling you to an empty effort. I am inviting you to a real, wholehearted surrender. I do not desire a perfected version of you. I want the real you, the one still in the process of becoming, the one you have yet to fully understand, the one you cannot resolve on your own. That is where true growth begins. Where your ability ends, my Spirit's work takes over, and I will not stop until it is finished. For too long, you have carried burdens that were never meant to be yours, not because I placed them upon you, but because you learned to depend more on your own strength than on my guidance. You became accustomed to solving everything with your skills, experience, and resources. But there are challenges that cannot be overcome with human ingenuity alone. They can only be overcome through complete surrender. You have built walls around yourself, which you may have thought were protection, but in truth, they have isolated you from the very healing that I long to bring into your life. You have built walls around your heart, so intricately designed that now you no longer know how to dismantle them. Pride, disguised as self-sufficiency, has served as one of the bricks, while unresolved disappointment has become another. The constant comparison, the one that saps your confidence every time you look at the lives of others and question your own, has only strengthened these walls, layer by layer. But I did not create you to live behind barriers. I made you to live in freedom, not to conceal your vulnerability, but to place it in my hands, because when you allow me access to the parts of you that you hide, that's where true healing begins. I did not come to condemn your pain. I came to redeem it. I did not come to highlight your exhaustion. I came to renew you from the inside out.